Let's talk HiFiMan. No, literally, HiFiMan headphones. There's a cool new one that I want to tell you about. Well, it's old and it's new. I'll explain. Click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our audiophile reviews. And go ahead and click the cute little bell to receive notifications when we post new content. HiFiMan, the maker of many popular planar magnetic headphones, has introduced an upgrade to its Arya model. Called the Arya Stealth Magnets, this headphone features, see if you can figure it out, HiFiMan's stealth magnet technology. It's technology that was first introduced in the top-of-the-line SUSVARA headphone. Technology is always evolving, and I like the idea that a headphone manufacturer can go back to an existing model and update it. The Arya driver has now been retrofitted with stealth magnets. The magnets feature a special shape that enables sound waves to pass through them without generating interference. As a result, HiFiMan says, sonics are detailed and transparent, and every detail of a recording is exposed without extra noise. At just under $1,600, the Arya Stealth Magnets is not inexpensive, but in the world of hi-fi, it may be considered mid-tier. The Arya Stealth Magnets is one of 3 pairs of headphones in the HiFiMan lineup that costs under $2,000, the other 2 being the Ananda and the R10D. So let's take a look at the aesthetics of this headphone. It's got a monochromatic look with a black headband and basically black everywhere, which is really sleek and sophisticated looking. And it's a combination of metal and high-grade plastic. It's about 14 ounces and change, which is under a pound. I mean, I think it feels pretty lightweight. One of the most notable things is the asymmetrical ear cups that follow the natural shape of the human ear. And you've got the patented window shade system. This is something HiFiMan does. It's customized for driver protection in an open back headphone. It also keeps sound waves from reflection and refraction to avoid unwanted vibrations and distortions. So I think this headphone is pretty comfortable. The ear cups are on the larger size. So for me and my smaller head with smaller ears, I do feel that they're coming down right about to the tip of my jawline. So again, really comfortable, but a little bit large on the ear cups for me. But overall, I think it's a really nice looking headphone, comfortable, cushy ear pads, well made, well designed. So let's talk about these magnets. But first, a quick review of planar magnetic driver technology. Like a dynamic headphone driver, planar magnetic drivers use magnetic fields. Instead of a coil, though, planar magnetic drivers use a flat, thin diaphragm that has wires embedded in it. This creates an electromagnetic field that can interact with the magnetic field, creating sound waves. The diaphragm in a planar magnetic driver is sandwiched between 2 arrays of evenly spaced magnets. An electric current travels through this magnetic field and causes the diaphragm to move, producing sound. So it's not a coil that moves the diaphragm, it's the magnets. This is how the name planar magnetic originates, magnets acting on a flat plane. So HiFiMan's proprietary stealth magnets were designed to solve a problem typical of headphones with magnets, which is sound waves passing through the magnets generating interference. Unlike sound waves generated by conventional magnets, stealth magnets feature a special shape that allows sound waves to pass through them without generating interference. HiFiMan says that its advanced magnet design is acoustically transparent, dramatically reducing wave diffraction turbulence that degrades the integrity of the sound waves. The reduced distortion yields pure sonic output that is accurate and full range. The Arya Stealth Magnets headphone also features HiFiMan's nanometer thickness diaphragm, which guarantees fast response and the bare minimum of distortion. How thin is the diaphragm, you ask? It's so thin that if you were to view it from the side, you wouldn't be able to see it. Now that's thin. Also of note is the advanced asymmetrical magnet circuit. HiFiMan says it took years to obtain the optimum balance between high driver efficiency and high sound quality. The innovative design of the double-sided asymmetrical magnet circuit is the perfect marriage of the nanometer thick diaphragm and its magnetic partners. I find the sound of this headphone really easy to like. It's detailed but not in-your-face analytical. It's relaxed but not lazy. It's got some treble sweetness to it, but it's not syrupy. I'd describe the sound signature as the warm side of neutral. It's not lush or rich, but there's a touch of warmth and musicality here. The mid-range sounds pretty forward, with vocals taking center stage in many tracks. Regina Spektor's song Fidelity combines sweet vocals with a fair amount of bass that fills in an otherwise simple track. But what's different here is that I was honing in on the tambourine, I think that's what it is, in a new way. This can be seen as a positive because this track, in addition to being dominated by Spektor's lovely, sweet voice, has a fair bit of bass to it. But here was the Arya Stealth Magnets showing me a lesser instrument like the tambourine holding its own in the mix. Spektor's voice here was lovely and distinct. There wasn't a hyper focus on vocal detail like I get with the top of the line SUSVARA, but it was more than adequate. For something moodier and grittier, I turned to an old favorite, Pink Floyd's Time. This was also quite pleasing to me on the Arya Stealth Magnets. The opening cacophony of alarm bells, which can be downright jarring on an analytical or bright headphone, were sufficiently impactful without piercing my brain. The bass line and gritty guitars drove the song without overpowering either Roger Waters' vocals, the cymbals, or the female backing vocals. There was a nice layering of sound here. The slower and mournful outro sounded just right, with Waters' voice taking center stage against a backdrop of lighter guitars and mellow drums. This is a song where choice of headphone can really alter the feeling, and I appreciated that the Arya Stealth Magnets gave me enough detail and oomph without shoving things in my face. It was definitely easy on the ears. So a note about drivability. With an impedance of 32 ohms and a sensitivity rating of 94 dB, the Arya Stealth Magnets is easier to drive than its predecessor. While you could technically drive it from your phone, we always recommend using a high-quality headphone amplifier or DAP with your audiophile headphones, particularly planar magnetic headphones, which we find always perform better when you give them more power. For desktop, I used the Matrix Audio Element X Headphone Amp DAC music streamer. A great option for portable use would be the Estelle & Kern Con Alpha, which we have here. Obviously we have it here. I'm pointing to it and talking about it. It's obvious. Let's see how the Arya Stealth Magnets compares to both the original Arya and the HiFiMan HE1000 V2, which is considered to be the big brother of the Arya. Looks-wise and sound-wise, it's easy to see how the Arya Stealth Magnets and the HE1000 V2 are related. Both have a natural sound with a touch of warmth and great detail retrieval. Now, the HE1000 SE is a different story with a more forward and analytical sound. I think the V2 and the Arya Stealth share more sound DNA. But being the baby brother means that the Arya Stealth Magnets has much of what the V2 has, but not as much. The Arya Stealth Magnets is definitely detailed, but those details don't come through with quite the level of clarity and crispness as they do on the HE1000 V2. While the low end is impactful on both headphones, I think it's more controlled on the HE1000 V2, and I get more sub-bass with the V2. It's not a bass-heavy headphone, but it goes deep. The V2 also presents with a bigger soundstage. Now let's look at the Arya versus the Arya Stealth Magnets. As I mentioned before, the Arya Stealth Magnets has a slightly lower impedance and slightly higher sensitivity and is easier to drive than the original Arya. Whereas the original Arya has a frequency response of 20 Hz to 35 kHz, the Stealth extends significantly farther in both directions, giving a boost in bass response as well as air and detail. The ear cups are deeper on the Arya Stealth Magnets, though the Stealth Magnets does weigh marginally more than the original, 17 grams more to be exact, but it's still under 1 pound. Now, the soundstage on the Arya Stealth Magnets is a little more intimate than on the original. This is one area where fans of the original Arya may feel like something was lost. Personally, I think the sonic improvements in the Stealth Magnets make up for that, but that's an individual decision. The Arya Stealth Magnets comes with a single crystalline copper cable that features a 6.35mm plug and a black woven exterior. It's perfectly decent, but it's on the shorter side and it tends to kink rather than lay flat. I chose to pair the Arya Stealth Magnets with a Silver Dragon premium headphone cable. The Stealth Magnets is a neutral warm headphone with plenty of detail, but not necessarily the level of crispness that some more critical listeners might desire. The Silver Dragon provides lots of clarity, which makes it a good fit for this headphone. It also tightens up the bass, a difference I could really hear between the stock cable versus the Silver Dragon. Dragon premium cables feature the same quality construction as standard Dragon cables, but with enhancements like premium connectors and solder. Head on over to moon-audio.com to learn more about Dragon cables. The HiFiMan Arya Stealth is an awesome planar magnetic headphone that competes with some of the more expensive models in the HiFiMan family. While not as resolving or as big sounding as the HE1000 V2, the Arya Stealth delivers when it comes to detail and that smooth planar magnetic sound. It's got robust bass, clear mids, and highs that shine. I would recommend the Arya Stealth Magnets for acoustic and classic rock, heavy metal, pop, blues, country, and folk Americana. If you're looking for a planar magnetic headphone that's lighter on the head and wallet than many other planars in its class and still sounds really darn good, check out the Arya Stealth Magnets. If you own the original Arya and are wondering whether you should upgrade to the Stealth Magnets, just know that it's not a must. If you like the soundstage on the original, you might want to stick with it. If you like the Arya but wish it had more bass and were easier to drive, then put the Stealth Magnets on your wish list. If you want to learn more about the Arya Stealth Magnets, check out our written review, which we've linked below. If you have any questions, leave us a comment. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our audiophile reviews. Thanks so much for watching.
So what headphone are we reviewing today, Sarah?
Ah, yes, it's the Arya Stealth Magnets.